Okay, hi guys, welcome. After a long time, we are doing the last and final lesson of this free course. And let me just first adjust my camera so that you get the entire lesson uninterrupted. So just wait for a second and bear with all the movements that you are seeing. Okay. Okay, fine. So yeah guys, so today is the final day for this lesson and this free tarot learning course, and this is the final lesson. And what we are going to learn today is, I have just prepared a little bit of matter of for this day, and we are going to learn how to do best readings and perfect readings for people. And as that's what the intention for learning tarot is, and obviously a lot more goes into it, but the basic thing, the basic and the most important thing that goes into doing perfect and accurate readings is any guesses? Okay, I'm just trying to be a little bit dramatic here. So yes, the most basic thing that you need to give very good and accurate readings is to ask perfect questions. And you might say, come on, that's not that huge, right? You might say that. Even I used to say it, that I used to ignore this fact that it's important, and how hugely it plays an importance in a reading, how hugely it holds the importance in doing somebody's readings or finding somebody's future. But the sort of questions you ask in your life are important, and how you ask those questions, the quality of your questions decides the quality of the life that you are going to have in future. So if suppose you are having you're not asking good questions in your life, that is where you are just having an ordinary life. In past, if you were not able to solve certain problems of your life, and if they still exist in present, that means that you have not asked good questions, and that's the reason why those questions still remain the same. And even more than that, you have not asked questions at all, and that is the reason why those questions, why those issues, even trouble you have, give you up, make you frustrate you, bring problems into your life even till day. And so that's the reason that you have not asked good questions. So yes, so that's the reason. And now let's see, how is the perfect way that you can ask good questions or perfect questions. See, why they play so important part, because most of the people, I'll just like to explain you that why it's important. And most of the people who come to a tarot card readers, just bear with me. I'm not saying anything like that's perfect, anything that is appearing picture perfect, because I don't have a script here. I'm just saying it from my heart. And so that's the reason you might feel that this session is like getting a little bit too detailed. But yes, whatever is important, I'm just putting into this session. So yes, so just make sure that you take as much as I'm giving in. So most of the people who come to a tarot card reader, mostly what people ask are, obviously people do ask questions. Majority questions that come to a tarot card reader are of the sort of just yes or no questions. Okay, is this going to happen? What's the answer going to be? It's either a yes or a no. Is that person going to leave me? It's either a yes or a no. See, these are the most commonly asked questions by people. And I must say they are like 85 to 90% of people who end up just asking these questions. And you are just not using the detailing, you're not using the depth of tarot cards, and the depth that tarot offers and can help you to transform your life. It's just a yes or no, and people are just coming, okay, it's a yes or no, they get the answer no, they just become unhappy, leave your office, They go to a tarot card reader, get an answer in yes, they get overjoyed and then leave the office. And it's just predictions. Predictions are not what tarot is made for, because tarot actually can it can peep deep inside your soul. And as I always have that written on my Facebook cover, that it can peep deep inside your soul and bring truths about your life. So just see, whenever you are just bringing out the answers as yes or just a no, that is where you are just seeing the surface. You're just referring to the surface. You're not going into the depth. You're not going into the ocean. You're not shuffling into the different sort of the underwater beauties that lie inside the sea. You're just getting on the surface. You see that there is no fish. You see there is no nothing to catch hold on to, and then you feel that okay, life does not have anything special. You feel that there are just special people born who have some special qualities, who are fortunate, who are lucky, who have something extraordinary. You get something good in your life only when you go into the depths of your soul, and that's where you have to do that. And when I say that, you might say, okay, so how can I go to the depth of my soul or somebody else's soul? Because as I told you that just being on the surface is not going to work. So that's the reason that when you actually work with good questions, suppose once not once, like people do ask this so many times. There are so many people who have asked me till now, okay, there's a literally demotivating and frustrating and I don't know what sort of questions do I call them. They are like, some people ask them, is there any hope for me? Is my life going to lead anywhere good? And these sort of questions, they answer themselves. You don't even need to say yes or no. These sort of questions just answer themselves, as if that they just have that in their mind, that they are misfortunate and nothing good is going to come up in their life. There is no hope for them. They are destined to suffer in their life. This sort of answers, this sort of mindset is already there inside. So and they are not going to, and they are not going to, they are not actually making any effort to change that. And unless and until a person does not change their attitude towards their own life and towards how their life should be in future, until then nothing happens. And you might say, okay, what about if the good things comes out in tarot? See, when people are actually accepting the goodness in life, the more goodness you have, the more acceptance you have, the more goodness is going to be accepted. If you're not accepting, if you're repulsive, if you are just closed, and if you stay restricted from whatever is coming to you, if you are in that way, when you are this sort of personality comes to a person, when a person is actually resisting, does not want change, does not accept that something good can happen to them. So in that case, they will just remain closed and they will not try to get anything. They will always feel that okay, life is bad. So that is where the predictions, where people ask. There are certain people, people who just give predictions. Okay, that there is this bad time coming up, and during this bad time, you don't have to try doing any good stuff. And what happens is that that person gets so much frustrated that they actually don't try anything at all during that time, or maybe even a few days before and after that time passes by. And what if an astrologer tells you that there is Shani Sade Sati, like 7.5 years of bad fortune or misfortune that's going to come up. What happens then? 7.5 years are so long. It's not a joke. And 7.5 years, you can do so much in a year itself. And how can you just leave it and just be passive and just wait for the time to pass by for 7.5 years? So yes, there are people who do that. So you have to make sure that you just first remove that idea of passiveness. Remove that idea that life is going to be bad for them, like for some time, or they are born misfortunate. You have to remove that fact from their mind. You have to make them aware that whatever they are thinking in present, whatever they are doing, whatever they, even if they are not doing, they are still doing. They are still doing something. They are still sitting and thinking that they are misfortunate. That is also doing, even if they are not doing any productive actions, not doing anything creative, not doing any productive action is also an action, and it's considered in a negative action. Just recently I was reading somebody's post, and that person had described that there was this man, and this person was good, who was commenting, and he just said that like he had seen a very rude man, very rude and arrogant. I know, not exactly rude, but maybe you can term that man as heartless. That man had actually did something where some animals, baby animals, were hurt and killed. And this guy said that, what do I do? And I just cannot bear it. I just cannot bear, because I still have that image in my mind. And what happens is maybe everybody feels that, okay, oh my gosh, that boy was so good, he could not see that. And what do you think what the karma of that boy was? So that man who was heartless, he did his karma. Means he just hurt some animals, he killed them, and then he just added it to his bad karmas. So